All right, so welcome to the Baseball Junkies podcast after hours show. We're gonna go ahead and take the wheel with this one and give our co-host Adrian here a little break because she's done a lot of talking and her check engine light just came on, so we're gonna go ahead and give her a break on that. But one thing that was not mentioned, and I'm gonna go ahead and mention it here. We all know the playoffs is kicking off. Football season has kicked off. Everybody and their brothers doing concerts. So if y'all plan on doing a family outing to any of these types of events, if y'all log into SeatGeek.com, and you can use either my promo code or you can use Adrian's promo code, it's gonna knock off $20 on your order. So keep that in mind when, especially if you have a teenage daughter. Okay, you know how they always want to go to these concerts. You know, you got these born again Swifties and all this other nonsense. They want to get some tickets. Think of us, all right? But today's podcast, it was, despite the fact that we missed a week because of some unforeseen circumstances with you getting sick and all that, it
Hmm.
was still pretty good. We kept it within the time frame. We did cover a lot. Some of the stuff we didn't really get into that much detail on, and I guess now we can actually use this opportunity here to elaborate a little more and get everybody's opinions on what's going on. But before we go ahead and go through all the formalities, let's go ahead and see who we got in the chat. We got Nikki, we got Chuck, we got Titus. How's everybody doing? Hobbyist. Glad you guys can make it. I know some of the older Cardmunity members, they're getting ready to go get themselves tucked into bed, so they'll get that alibi, you know what I mean? But yeah, so you know, first thing is that I really wanted to touch on because it blows my mind because I guess now a lot of these sports card influencers are trying to advertise what they've done throughout their collecting or investing careers, if you want to put it, and put it into a book, you know. So sports card investor, kind of like what we mentioned earlier, they got a book and it's titled Sports Card Collecting and Investing. So we all know, well, okay, let me back up real quick. Sports card investor, they're starting, they've been dropping a lot of their videos that they've been dropping. It's either um showing them actually at card shows doing trades. They're talking about valuating specific cards, and the the investing aspect is kind of limited. And I say that because all they talk about is football and basketball. You know, I
Hmm.
think, and there was a video that they actually did, and I commented, look, if you're going to talk about sports card investing, don't forget that baseball is also considered a sport. Y'all may want to incorporate that into it too, or hire somebody who knows about baseball, you know. But we all know throughout the time that sports card investor has actually been around, we've actually had hobby watchdogs. Sports card radio, they're the first ones to basically say, look, you've got these influencers who tell you to invest in player A, player B, or whatever the case may be, but then they show you the reasons not to take their advice. Because a lot of the techniques or practices that they use tend to bite them in the ass. So I mean, I'm seriously considering picking up a copy of this book just to see exactly what the content is. Now, I did buy a novel from a sports card influencer. I don't remember his name, but he's known for going to card shows and educating us on what to look for when we're looking for vintage cards to tell if it's replicated or it's actually authentic. Okay? So, I mean, and I'm sure there's other books out there that people have used. Like for example, I went and picked up a book months ago. It's called The Modern Baseball Card Investor. I have yet to read it because I just went through the first couple of pages, and it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth, So, but what's up, Kenny? Sean, how you doing? But I'm curious to see where this book is going to go, and how many people is actually going to pick it up.
I can't wait because I feel like it's going to get picked through line
Honestly,
for line.
I think it's going to be ridiculed to a whole new level.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sports Car Radio actually picks up a copy and just roasts it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Oh yeah.
Because I already seen, I believe Sports Car Radio actually kind of roasted them a little bit with the fact that they're actually opening up an LCS.
Yeah. They on their live they do on Thursdays, they talked about it quite a bit, gave their insight. I thought they
Yeah.
were pretty nice about them in general. Like they gave, I mean, really good rundown on their thoughts on it. They did kind of roast the two other gentlemen that he signed, that he did
Yeah,
signed up on
I mean,
this.
I seen the interview that Jeff did with them, and I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
You couldn't
Yeah.
find no other two investors but these two.
Yeah.
I was fully expecting Teapot was gonna be in on it and his other minion.
Yeah. But
evidently not.
yeah, who knows?
Boss man, how you doing? Jeremy, welcome. Kenny,
what's going on,
you hit the
everybody?
like button for me, fellas. Please, I'd appreciate it. But I mean, again, going back to that video that he did, giving us a tour of the damn the store. That's gonna be a lot under one roof.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, when I looked at it, like the individualized breaking booths, I think how those were set up, that was an afterthought.
You
Each
think
breaking
so?
booth has its own individual door.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it. Yeah, he threw in $3 million into the structure itself.
Mm-hmm.
But how much is it going to cost to get the product in, get the furniture to house it, get IT involved?
Yeah.
You know,
I imagine he's gonna talk about that a lot in coming videos. I did see him post on Instagram, like picking up a bunch of product. He had his
right?
like
He's got
SUV
it in the back
full
of
of
his
stuff.
soccer mom mobile.
Yeah. So I I'm honestly I'm trying as an adult, it's hard not to be skeptical, but can you imagine if you're a kid, like this is like a dream. You know what I mean? Like if you had your kid and you're like, I got all this money to do whatever what I want,
Yeah.
and I'm loved cards, like make this kind of place like this.
And I'm actually glad you mentioned that, because the
Yeah.
first thing that came to my mind, because I know Sports Car Radio brought it up many times in the past.
Yeah.
What is the likelihood that his wife has something to do with that also?
Of contributing to the funds.
Contributing to the $3 million plus.
Probably 100%, but in the end, like it's none of our business. Whatever. That's
Yeah.
what you guys want to do. Uh, cool. It's none of our business. It's just interesting. I guess, I don't know. If you're from a man's point of view, you're like, oh, is your wife? I know that's like a big ego thing or whatever sometimes. But
Larkin's bringing up some good points too. It's going to have to get a lot of Wi-Fi for that place, and security too.
Oh yeah, the Wi-Fi for running all those lives and stuff like that in a big old
I mean,
crazy
yeah, if you
city
think
like that.
about it, if he's running his Sports Card Investor top 5 while they're breaking, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, kids can't afford a place like that. That's a good point.
What's up,
Interesting. It could be
Jason?
interesting.
Yeah,
I did.
I mean, Georgia's not too far from me. I might just end up making
Yeah,
a road trip out there.
yeah. I know they talked about in the sports card radios thing, they were talking about like security and
Mm-hmm.
stuff for that, like thought
Right.
process for that. Um, I don't know what that area is like. I've never been over there, but even in general, if you got like the way he showed it, like the glass and you could see everything inside, like
I will say this: the city of Atlanta has been on the show First 48 more than once.
yeah, I'll copy that. Okay. Um,
Okay, so
24-hour breakers, are there enough trusted breakers? Absolutely not.
no.
Um, he just bought himself an 8-hour job. I think he bought himself a lot more than 8 hours a day job.
Yep,
A lot more than that. But
definitely.
good point, Tom. I get your point there. Um,
Well, hopefully his LCS is within
yeah,
the uh the rules that Fanatics has set forth,
I'm
especially if
sure
you're
it
looking to get allocations.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure those guys are gonna end up taking pictures and holding hands and stuff
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing, because this is part of the plan for the 10x of the hobby, which we'll see.
Gonna
I
have to
mean,
have a shipping and receiving department. Yep, agree with that, Larkin.
mhm,
It's gonna be a lot,
there's
honestly.
yeah. So I think was there another point he made? He was talking about hiring 25 employees?
He If you
That
go to
doesn't seem
that
like
Cards HQ website, he's
mhm,
got a listing of all the positions that he's currently hiring for, like a general manager. He's
mhm.
looking for breakers. So I
Yeah,
mean, it
it's it's
it's
it's interesting.
it's gonna be a hell of a ride.
Yeah, we're gonna be watching, we'll be talking about it, so we'll
So let me see.
see.
Become a part of the team. He's looking for a retail manager, retail associates, live sellers, shipping associates, a shipping manager, and breakers. So let me see. I'm looking at the job description. Requirements: passion for sports cards and the overall trading card industry, knowledge of various sports and athletes, and an understanding of their value in the sports card market. You should practice what you preach. Excellent communication skills with the ability to engage and interact with a diverse customer base. Oh, look at that. Benefits: health insurance and paid time off is available for this position.
Sweet.
So I'm going to go ahead and take this link and repost it in here. So in case anybody who lives in the Georgia area is looking to kill some time, hey, Jeff Wilson's looking for you. But moving right along, we're going to talk about Adrian's favorite incentive that Tops came up with recently. So I'm not a big fan of tacos. Matter of fact, I can't stand fucking tacos. Okay. And I say that because prior to me moving to Florida when I was in New York, that's all my daughter wanted to eat. It was Taco Bell this, Taco Bell that, Taco Bell. I'm done with Mexican food. And I know you don't associate Taco Bell with Mexican food, but they're two peas in the same pot.
Mhm.
Okay. But anyway, so the bounty that was recently announced was if you happen to own a taco fractor, let's just say of Corbin Carroll, okay, and the Diamondbacks make it to the World Series, and Corbin Carroll happens to break the ice on stealing the very first base in the World Series, and you own that card, you will be the winner of a $15,000 digital coupon of Taco Bell, or what they like to call Taco Bell for life. But in reality, it's a $15,000 coupon plus they cut you a check for about $5,200 for tax purposes. Okay. My question is, who in their right mind is responsible for this type of incentive? Because, and I say that because, in case you didn't know, Taco Bell has collaborated with baseball on numerous occasions. Okay. They've done some crazy bounties during the postseason, especially the World Series. But this is completely on a whole new level, and I'm just like, who can live off a Taco Bell for life?
Who thought of like when like I should say who didn't think of, completely disregarded what a collector might want. Somebody that collects cards
Mm-hmm.
and associate with that with tacos.
Right.
like it's a complete disconnect. If you think
Yeah,
about
I
when you're
mean,
thinking about what a collector would want. I'm collecting these cards, I'm looking for these taco fractor cards. Oh, they're gonna do this cool incentive. Oh, you get free tacos. The f
it's like
like,
oil and vinegar.
why I was like, why was it not like tacos with a MLB player or something like that? Like somebody with a like why? I don't know.
And then I
It's a
think with the wild
shame.
card, now they did mention something along the lines of 5 winners receiving this $15,000 coupon. So I'm not sure how that's going to work, but I'm pretty sure when those bases come the World Series and those bases are stolen, we're going to hear more news about what's going on with the taco fractor bounty and who won it. And so as soon as we hear it, you will hear it, but in the meantime, again, I don't know how you can associate the hobby of collecting baseball cards with Taco Bell. But who am I? I'm just a normal average collector. Don't know
Mhm.
nothing. So we'll see.
Just
What's
the
up, long
ones
ball cards?
just
Brendan
the ones
Ryan, how
that
you
spend
doing?
money on the product.
Yeah, that's a good
So
thing.
free hobby box
Uh
of every product released for life would be a collector's dream. Yes, that's ooh, what a good idea, long ball. That's that's a nice idea. Whopper fractor might get me excited.
oh, definitely. That is one thing I would actually shoot for because I love me some damn Burger King.
On the
But
bright side, 15 on cards?
the what now?
I don't know.
On the
I've got
bright side,
it's
use the $5,200 on card. Yeah, you could do that too.
yeah.
Nikki saying hot dogs, peanuts, and Cracker Jacks. Hell, do they even still
Double
make Cracker
down
Jacks?
fractor.
They should
I think
make a Walmart fractor that makes more
look,
more excited than anything.
anything,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, some good ideas. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely, but definitely tacos would not be one of them.
We've been
If
skeptical
we had
about
an
this.
option of picking 10 incentives for a specific bounty, tacos would not be one of them.
Taco
That's just
Bell has
my
been
opinion.
an advertiser in the World Series for years, though. I think they've done free tacos during yes. We were talking about that, before the podcast. It's like, okay, every year, if somebody steals a base in the World Series and Taco Bell the next day, you can go in and get a free taco. And I was like, surely they're gonna make it more exciting than that. With these with sports cards.
Yeah.
I thought I was really hoping I was really hoping for tacos with the ball player.
Hmm.
That'd be fun. I get that, and then Taco Bell gets their advertising and all that, but this just was
I
yeah.
mean, it's just a matter of time before MLB or Tops, well, Fanatics probably collaborates with a Chinese restaurant chain out there, and we'll start seeing sushi fractors.
Mm.
Who knows?
Pizza, you need pizza fractors,
Yeah, that's another one too.
Pizza Hut for life or something like that. I don't know.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see that one, the David Adams kind of wisened up as far as their bounties, because in case you don't know, David Adams did put on a bounty for a product of Bowman. They put out a $1 million bounty on the superfractor of Drew Jones. Okay.
1 million?
$1 million on the Drew Jones. That they did a video on it. The card was redeemed by David Adams. Okay, the person who pulled it and ended up claiming it. It was Grandpa on their way to a Reds game.
Yeah. It was $1 million?
It was $1 million.
Oh, wow. I
But
remember it,
now,
but I'm like,
shortly
wow.
after that bounty was claimed, it was reported that Drew Jones got hurt.
Oh, yeah.
So David Adams kind of wisened up and said, okay, maybe we should not be throwing this large amount of money on bounties like this, because we're gonna end up on the losing end of it. So they ended up following that Drew Jones Superfractor bounty. They did the Lord of the Rings 1 of 1. And then they also ended up doing a bounty on the new release that came out, Lorcana. I think it's a Disney product. And now with this one, with the 2023 Bowman, they did a bounty for the 101 Superfractor of Babe Ruth. Okay. And that was pulled by Bulldog Sports Cards, and the bounty was actually $200,000. It was claimed, and I mean, I think that would be money well spent on David Adams' part, because we're talking about a player whose career has already been written. We've actually seen something that has never been produced before. I mean, because Bowman prospecting was not even a thing back in the early 1900s.
Yeah. Chuck, I did
So
that 1 million, I had to go back and read it and remember. It was 1 million if they like kept the card and he's ended up in the Hall of Fame. If you remember, but they ended up the bounty
that's right.
like,
That was the
right away was
incentive.
250.
That's
Yeah.
right. Okay, so what?
Yeah.
That's right. It was $1 million if they sold it, and he was guaranteed to make the Hall of Fame in 20-25 years or something like that. But then it was $250K. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
that's why I didn't remember the 1 million part of it, because
okay.
it was so yeah.
But either way, I think this bounty that they did with the Babe Ruth, despite the discrimination against the other retrofractors, Clemente ain't getting no love, Bench ain't getting no love. All three were Hall of Famers. I mean, I would have came up with incentives. It would have been nice to see incentives for the other two as well. Maybe 100,000 for Roberto Clemente.
Yeah.
Maybe 50K for Johnny Bench, because he's the only one living out of that whole set.
I honestly didn't think about that, and that's a really good point. Like, why was there no incentive for Roberto Clemente or Johnny Bench? Like,
I mean,
those were the only 3 retrofractors. So
yeah. But what killed me though is you have a lot of these breakers and influencers, or whatever the hell you want to call them, and hell, even average Joes like you and I, we were kind of roasting the fact that what is so significant about a Bowman first Babe Ruth? Okay, you just answered your own question with your statement. Again, how many Bowman first Babe Ruths are out there in production? Okay, that's one. Number two, it's not an average Joe. We're not talking about some 18 or 19-year-old prospect who hasn't even made a name for themselves just yet, and they're going off on a whim. We're talking about a man who basically saved baseball during the days of the Black Sox scandal. We're talking about a man who, at one point in time, his salary was higher than the president of the United States. He is somebody who brought forth a 70-plus year curse on the Boston Red Sox. You know, we're talking 714 home runs, 7 or 8 world championships. I mean, he's done it all. But yet you want to downplay it. I mean, honestly, that was pretty genius. It would be nice to see a lot of more of this product actually brought out with other old school players. Like I would love to see a Bowman first Ty Cobb or a Hannes Wagner.
So I'm just reading the comments. He said they did a Bowman Babe Ruth in 2016, didn't they? And they did, but it doesn't have the first emblem on it.
Yeah.
Let me you want to see it real quick? It's got this is the is this it here? It's a gold prism one or something like that. Gold refractor. It's pretty cool. It's a good looking card, but that's the one from 2016. But doesn't say
Well, Jason, the president actually makes about $400,000 throughout the duration of his presidency. So yeah, you're right.
Oops. Can you pull that card up? Oops.
Which card are we talking about?
No, I'm sharing the screen with you down there.
Oh,
if you want.
Yeah.
This is the 2016 one that Brandon was talking about. That is every rookie.
Yeah, it's not even a Bowman first.
Yeah. But he was just making the point that they made one. They've made a Bowman. They have made a Bowman Babe Ruth card before. This is just not a first, I know. But it's not even Ruth's first Bowman 2016. Oh, that's okay. I guess that is an issue with people. It makes sense because why else?
$400?
That's a gold refractor out of 50.
I know.
Oh, there's the back. Cool.
So I mean,
$400K. When did they bump up their pay? Last I heard was $250. Oh, they're talking about how much the president gets paid? I don't know. I thought it was $400,000.
Well, I know when and I don't like bringing politics up, but when Trump was in office, he was saying throughout his presidency that he was going to donate his salary, and he actually broke it down. A president every year they make $100,000 a year, and that he was only going to keep $1 of his salary.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kenny is asking, who are we picking for the World Series?
Dude, I'm afraid to pick because everybody I've picked so far has lost. So I'm staying out of it. What is this show? What's up, Arnie?
What's up, Arnie?
This is an after-hour show. This is where things get real.
Card Deal actually was live just before the podcast kicked off, and I actually jumped in on it, and we had a nice long discussion about salaries and the method of signing players that these owners take, and it was kind of interesting.
There's people asking about that. I was just looking that Babe Ruth. The two that I'm seeing on here were national exclusives, so you can only get them at the national. So I was just trying to see if there were any more that weren't, and it doesn't look like it. But still, just saying.
I think the one that they made in this product holds more significance simply because it does have the first Bowman emblem on it.
Yeah. You know how people are about them emblems. They like their rookie card emblems. They like their first emblems.
They sure do.
So
Joe's going Arizona and Texas in the World Series.
Arizona,
2 underdog teams.
That would be awesome. Hey, Arnie, you had a heck of a stream today. I had it running.
Yeah, you did. Showing all that eye candy. But
He says
so
Arnie says Arizona and Houston. God, please don't let Houston go to the World Series again, please.
I got a feeling it's gonna be Houston and Phillies part 2. That's just what I think, because I think what woke up the Phillies was when Atlanta won, I think it was game 2 or game 3, and they was ridiculing Bryce Harper when he got pegged at first trying to run back. I think that's what sparked that little.
Oh yeah, you seen they made a Tops Now card.
They did
of that and stuff. Yeah,
they did.
So,
I love the old Orlando Arcia. His mouth wrote a check that his ass can't cash.
hey, is anybody in the chat gonna buy Bowman Platinum from Tops? Just curious. Yeah, Harper was been playing, dude. Trey Turner. Trey Turner had a game that last game. Oh my god! And so did Castellanos.
I know Harper and Castellanos. I think it was game 4. They both went deep twice in that game. Man, it was crazy. Brendan says, given the quality control issues with damaged cards fresh from the pack, memory metal cards would be virtually indestructible and not expensive to produce. Okay.
Heavy though, right?
I mean, I would like to see some newer product being produced with. Back in the 90s, they had this acetate sheet that went over the card itself. You know what I'm talking about?
Like the film?
Yeah, the film.
Yeah.
Throw that on there.
Oh man. But then then you got the cards graded with the film and without the film. You know?
Yeah.
But I don't know if you saw the video I did with Jebben's cards. It took the film off and then got
it gemmed, yeah.
That was cool.
So honestly, I don't think the film should factor in whether it's on or off. But now if it is on, but you have a corner that's just hanging, yeah, you're gonna get dinged.
Yeah. Where is the chat going? The memory metal and Roswell and stuff.
Oh no. Then Sean's talking about, he's asking Arnie, did you get Taco Bell last night?
3 a.m. Did he go live for that long last night? He was
Arnie
live for a minute. Huh?
Arnie is a damn savage.
I know. Madman.
Gotta love him though. But so what are y'all's thoughts about this new thing that PSA is finally bringing up? I mean, because everybody else is doing it for the most part. Not going to mention tag primarily. You know, they're going to give us a reason for that PSA 8 when we thought and we swore up and down it was going to get at least a 9, maybe a 10. Jason said, this is after hours. What do you expect? Bunnies and rainbows? Oh, man. But yeah, I'm actually curious to see how they're going to roll out this whole new graders notes.
I know, me too.
I know in the podcast, I saw a comment from Locke and it said, the graders are just going to write because I said so.
Yeah. I saw that. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
And answers.
I personally like it. All the customers want is accountability and answers when they have questions. Not too much to ask. This is true.
Mm-hmm.
This is true because I'm almost certain if Adrian and I were graders at PSA, I give her a card to grade for me, telling her guaranteed this is going to be a 10, but then she knocks it down to a 9. I'm going to want to know what is it that she saw that warranted that 9. And she would tell me because we're working under the same umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, if you have Arnie who sends in something and it gets something that he was not expected, we're not going to tell you anything. So too
I'm
little, too
thinking,
late for
see,
PSA.
this smart thing with tag is they got all the technology and they got the imaging and
Yeah.
they circling stuff and showing that. Now is PSA just gonna say like this is why, or like I'm hoping if they use imaging and stuff, they got something to back up their word. Because I know SGC uses imaging and stuff as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if PSA decides to go the route of implementing photos, I don't foresee them going as extensive as Tag does with the 3D version of it. They'll probably just probably use that picture that they take upon receiving the card, and then maybe they'll do some Photoshop shenanigans with a little arrow, ding, soft corner, scratch, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Larkin is set in his ways. Still say grading is just dumb. Authenticating is one thing, but if the card looks fine to the naked eye, then it's good enough. Yeah. Well, you got people that like burning money to get their stuff encapsulated too, Larkin.
Yeah, but my thing is too. There's always people that think they're all their stuff is solid gold.
Yeah.
When it's not. You know what I mean? So it's you got a good point. Like if somebody got a collection they don't like to get their stuff graded, like I totally respect that. Like I get that. Yeah, spend more money on cards. Yeah, smart people.
I mean, I try to look at the positives of getting stuff graded, not only for the fact of knowing the condition of said card from a quote unquote professional standpoint, but I'm looking at it from a preservation point as well. Because we know if there's individual collectors out there who they build up this massive collection, throw it in top loaders and sleeves and everything, put it in their garage or their attics or whatnot. We know wear and tear will show up on those top loaders. You know, they get discolored and it kind of takes away the eye appeal of the card itself. And sometimes the card actually gets affected by it too. What's up, Corey?
Hawkins got a good point there. He's constantly seeing graded cards selling for way less than the cost of grade. I mean, that goes into the like philosophy of what you get graded also. I mean, some people don't care. I got cards in my collection. I don't care. They ain't worth jack, but I wanted them slabbed.
Yeah.
Preservation kind of thing. Is it silly? Yeah, maybe. Some of it, I could put it in a top loader and put it in a sleeve and be fine with it. I don't know. I got into a thing where I was enjoying getting cards graded because it was almost like a challenge, like,
yeah,
well, how good is my eye? What are they looking at? Because it's such a mystery. I feel like with PSA tag, there's no mystery. Tag is way tougher than PSA, I think.
Oh yeah,
all day
definitely.
long, all day long. So,
and then you got individuals like myself who's never actually did a submission on their own, and when they do actually go forward with their own submission and they do come back with a pleasing result, that kind of triggers somewhat of an addiction, if you will. Like when I came back, when my order came back and I had an 80% gem rate, I'm like, you know what? I could do this. So I'm gonna start sending some more of my stuff on my own. Because I know what I'm looking for now.
Yeah.
So, but again, I mean, every collector is different. Some like that stuff in the 9-pocket sleeves and notebooks. And that primarily goes for your set collectors. Then you have those that just want to throw them in top loaders or whatever the case may be.
It's collecting, baby. It's collecting.
That's all it is.
You do you, boo. You do you.
I mean, I'm sure y'all been to a card show and you got little Timmy who's 12 years old and he's walking around with a $300 slab display case showing all his Zion Williams. I mean, come on now.
We also seen people walking like old school, like walking around with a stack of baseball cards wrapped up in a rubber band.
Yep.
You know, and we're like, look at my rookies. You know,
Definitely.
oh man,
I mean, it's crazy.
what's up, Magnus,
Magnus, how we doing?
Corey, Alan, Nikki? I haven't said real. I've said hi to people. I've been typing it, but what's up, Tom? Collect the card, not the grade. Yes, Tom. Put that on T-shirt.
Please feel free to hit that like button. There's 23 of y'all in here. Thank you so much.
Like, don't forget to download the podcast.
Yeah, definitely. If you're into audio podcasts, this today's episode should be up and running definitely by tomorrow afternoon. So you'll have something to listen to on your way to work come Monday morning.
Cool. Right. So Brandon hit it on the head right there. Consistency. Yes. Issue at PSA. Graders are going to now have to give notes on the grades. Doesn't change the fact. Yeah, it's
and honestly, it's a little more. I'm gonna use your philosophy, Brendan, but I'm gonna apply that to the big four grading companies because it seems PSA, BGS, SGC, and CGC have their own standard of grading, but yet they use the same methodology on the grades that they give these cards. I mean, if PSA, let's take a 89 upper deck Ken Griffey. If you send it to PSA, it comes back a 7. 9 out of 10 times, that person is going to go ahead and crack that open, send it to another company, or probably resubmit it to the same company in hopes of a higher grade. You take that same card, I guarantee you 2, maybe 3 of the 4 grading companies are going to give it different grades. So that's where the consistency lacks. I mean, the only thing that Tag does differently as far as the grading structure is not only do they try to keep it traditional with everybody else, your standard 1 through 10, but they also have an internal grading system as well, which goes all the way up to 1,000. And to me, that's a good idea because it lets you know if you have 2 10s of a particular card, but one of them actually has a higher internal company grade than the other, that one with the higher internal grade tends to be a little more valuable than the other 10. That would be something that would be nice to be incorporated. Exactly why a universal grading scale solves most of those problems. Then it's only a matter of adherence to the standard. Yeah, I agree with that. But then again, all it takes is a grumpy grader that's having a bad day to ruin it.
Kurt, there's you guys have got some good points, good arguments going here.
Why don't they go to 100?
So they can do etc. Yeah, shoot.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, what are you guys' thoughts about the grading system anyway?
What's that?
I mean, what is everybody's thoughts on how cards are graded anyway? Not how they are graded, but the grading structure.
I kind of feel like people are kind of starting to say why, like Brandon was talking about a universal grading scale, and they're talking about the whole, and then Arnie's talking about no 9.5. I know that's a huge thing. Like people are pissed that PSA doesn't have a 9.5. They got an 8.5. They got they got all that, but no 9.5.
That kind of ruins it for the collector themselves. I mean, you go from 1 to 8 with half grades in between, But if you have something that is better than a 9, but not as good as a 10, so we're going to give you the lower grade.
Mm-hmm.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, I think Tag is onto something with how they grade stuff, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hopefully that somehow later on down the road it gets adopted elsewhere.
Yeah. The whole upcharging is a scam. I don't know. Arnie, I know Arnie gets a lot of stuff scam. In my I've done quite a few, not probably not as many as Arnie maybe, but or some other people, but all the stuff I've gotten graded, I've only gotten upcharged twice on
Mm-hmm.
things. And I feel like a lot of that stuff, if you're going by, it's like, they shouldn't have it. First of all, the whole thing. I love how SGC, there's no minimums and values and stuff. Tag does the same thing.
Right.
The whole values thing, because it fluctuates so much. But when it comes down to getting upcharged, they very rarely have done it to me. There's certainly some of your Julios that I've graded for you. I expected I anticipated the possibility of them being upcharged,
Right.
but for the most part, they haven't done it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more worried. I was thinking about, you were talking about earlier, and it's like I'm more nervous to send in cards from the 90s, because I get more cards from the 90s sent back saying that they're not the minimum size requirement, because all
Yeah.
that stuff, and it's like I pulled these things out of packs, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. He did. So upcharge is not that common. I am over 15 years of grading. I have never gotten one. Oh, dang. Never gotten one. I've gotten
And as
2.
weird as it is, a lot
Yeah.
of people who do a lot of grading, they get excited over upcharges.
I usually do. The 2 I did, I was like, ooh, this must mean it's worth way more. Like, it's gonna be
Exactly.
way more. Because
You know, it's a blessing and a curse, if you will, depending
yeah.
on the person who submitted it.
Yeah.
You
Joe,
know, so
SGC has no card minimum, and you said yes. That is why SGC is like the number 2 now. And when I went to that card show in Portland, there were guys up there that strictly grade with SGC
mm-hmm.
for those purposes, everything. And because that's a nice deal. You send in your cards, one price, one, like turnaround times or everything. That's like simple.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people send stuff to me to help them do PSA because it's freaking confusing and it's intimidating. People are nervous about sending in cards because of all the different scales and this. And do you want to send it in? Do you want a faster turnaround time and all that stuff? So, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point, Locken. It's like, I don't know what. Yeah. I don't know.
PSA lets you grade 10,000 cards, no cost up front. SGC, you have to pay upfront 100% to start. They all have a place. I like them both.
Good point. That is a good point.
Yeah,
PSA
well, I mean,
doesn't charge you until they send it back. However, I will say this, like with Tag and SGC, if I send them a card and they are unable to slab it, like it's not authentic or something like that, they don't charge me for the
PSA,
card.
nope, still gonna
PSA
charge you
charges
anyway.
me no matter or what. So Johnny doesn't like the tux for, yeah, see, now I feel like, Mr. Frey, you kind of feel that way about modern cards. You don't really like the tux for modern cards. You're okay with it with some vintage.
Right, and
Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah. They use recent comp sales. Yeah.
And I mean, in my opinion, a SGC slab, when you hold it, it does feel kind of flimsy and fragile.
The SGC one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of, because I got a scale here, and I've actually weighed a
Weighed
PSA
'em.
slab and a SGC, and the
Mhm.
PSA is a little bit heavier.
Heavier.
So I
The
mean,
tag slabs are the best.
yeah, definitely.
They really are. So Depends on the
I mean,
card.
they even had some grief about tag slabs because a lot of people are not big on the etchings of the labels,
Yeah,
which
whatever.
to me is
They're
the highlight
beautiful.
of the grade, is of the
I was gonna
highlight of the
say
slab.
do I have one up here? They're beautiful. They're freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, they're great. They're
Okay,
great.
so
I'm making me
Cardmu
want to
came
do
up
a
with a
tag
good point.
submission.
Arnie is saying if you buy a $50,000 Cy Young card at a Heritage or a Robert Evans auction and it ends up being a fake, PSA will buy it back. SGC, they have no guarantee.
I was not aware of that information. That's interesting. Yes, tag
I mean, it
slabs
kind
are
of
like
makes
glass.
sense because when it comes to trying to make money off of cardboard, everybody tends to go the PSA route, and
Yeah.
that we choose PSA because that is a monster that we created.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's really no rhyme or reason, but somebody decided I'm gonna go ahead and slap all my stuff in a red and white labeled piece of plastic, and this is what's gonna fetch the most money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like all these other companies, like I actually like the company that I think is HGA that does the horizontal
Oh,
slabs.
horizontals, those are cool. God, I had
You
such an
know,
awful experience with that company. That was the only bummer thing. It's
I mean,
like,
the only thing I'm not really big on is the customized label.
I mean, I, that's what got me interested. I was like, oh, I'm gonna try these, but then their slabs. I do have one night. Oh, it's a horizontal one that I bought off
Mhm.
eBay. That's pretty nice, but I I just won't deal with them again. Mm.
We really need to see more Nat Turner. Okay. Nikki's saying his next PC submission will definitely be tag.
Yeah, we'll get it right.
If PSA slabs a fake card, you will get right. SGC will never catch PSA in this lifetime. 2C19 shutdowns by Cali. SGC had every opportunity in 18 prior years to make strides, and they didn't. Yeah. I mean, I did like the fact that PSA was proactive, and we brought it up in the podcast a few times where there were certain cards that were doctored, if you will. I'll try to keep it politically correct. And the graded serial number for those cards were actually deactivated. So as of right now, in PSA's mind and then their records, it's non-existent.
It's Pepsi, Coke, and so yeah. I'm wondering. I don't know, like the back, like history of SGC. I'm wondering now with the president they have now and stuff like that because he seems like a really like seems like a good hobby guy. I could be
Yeah.
wrong, but I'm wondering if they're them making like bigger strides in the hobby happens now, which it has. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they're above Beckett. I mean,
Is anybody considering slabs with Arena Club?
the 1,000 point grading scale isn't a terrible idea, but again, Tag also has horrible PR. Do they?
I don't think they do. I think they just don't have enough. Because right now they're doing a lot
That
of their
that could be
showboating
what
on
he
the West Coast.
yeah, that could be what he means by that. Yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion. I think they don't try hard enough to get their name out there. I mean, despite the fact that Tag is, you'll find them all up and down Instagram, Facebook, X, but they're real selective on what appearances they make on card shows because you'll always see them at a Burbank. You've seen them at the National. you know. So I mean, they're not like JSA, where JSA will actually go to like a small mom and pop ran shop at your local VFW and make an appearance.
I'm reading card deals comments and stuff, and I'm just curious. Like, my thought on that is like if they so I know accidents happen, fake card could get slabbed or whatever, but it's like how did it get to that point? Usually when we hear about these stories, these are huge cards,
Mm-hmm.
faked, huge, and it's like, how is this how is this happening? And it's like, are they gonna just investigate it if somebody catches them, like kind of thing? Like that's, but yeah,
I mean,
tag
it took PSA a second go around to catch that altered Shohei Otani. You know, I think at one point it fetched $8,000.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
The dude cracked it, cut off because I think it came back at a 9.
Mhm,
He cut one of the sides of it to even out the centering,
mhm.
fetched a 10, and it was sold for 11,000.
I think I remember that story. Was it that Independence Day one?
Yes.
Something like that? Yeah, that
And
was
then once
that
PSA got
annoyed
word of it, they deactivated the number.
yeah, and that annoyed me too because I was just telling you about the whole minimum size thing, like
Hmm.
but I guess t but then I remember reading stories on that in 2018 was like a weird year for size requirements or something like that.
No, I think we're good with the 101s of that card there, Johnny.
Which card are we talking about?
No, he was saying, are we still at 7 101s of that one card? I guess he's talking about the Bowman first debacle.
Slowest roll out in hobby history. Tag should be poaching collectors. You know, and so my thought process on that is they are taking too long. But it's because they put so much emphasis on the uh technology they're using. Is that a good excuse? No. Is that good business tactics? Maybe not. I don't know. I was
So card
super
deal is
annoyed.
clarifying.
I was super annoyed with that card that I sent that they said was too thick. And then I
Hmm.
heard other people tell me when they were at the national, the old people at their own booth,
Yeah.
like like they said all these cards should be fine, and then they still didn't get slabbed. So
So card deal is clarifying. He's saying someone had a fake slab, used PSA certificate number, and made a
oh
second copy. Once they get
oh
word, they deactivate it until they figure out which is
okay,
legit.
okay, cool, got you. That makes sense.
But either way, I
Yeah.
mean, I wonder how many duplicates or altered cards are still active in PSA's registry.
I think that was a point Brendan was making
Yeah,
earlier about their pop reports. All
definitely the
very good
vintage
parts.
would be the
There's
first place I would look.
as we all know, there's a lot of
What's up, three good nerds?
BS in this hobby, but you know, and we keep talking about this and hopefully things get changed, but at the same time, let's keep loving collecting cards and do collect what you love.
Yeah.
Do what works for you. You don't have to have cards graded. I don't care. You got cool cards and you got them all lined up in your top loaders or whatever. I'm all about it. I'm just happy that you collect.
That's it. Whatever makes you happy, and if you got the money for it, do you, boo boo.
What's up, good nerds? Need sleep. All right. Have a good night, Magnus. Thanks for hanging out,
All right,
man.
Magnus, take it easy. Thanks for dropping in.
And how old the slabs are? Would they get the same grade in today's grade? Yeah. I've always thought about that too. I think I have a couple slabs that are like old that I was like, oh, I want to get new the new
And that was a
slab.
thing that they brought up too when
Yeah.
PSA was doing the slab crossover special. You know, I guess they were saying that if you send them PSA 10 of a Mike Trout rookie, to get the slab upgraded. But when they look at it, Billy Bob is like, this ain't no 10.
Yeah.
Boom, I'm gonna slam it with a 9.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm good. I'll just leave alone.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things going on.
Yeah.
We just gonna have to roll with the punches. But again, we'll be back on for the podcast next week, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Just a heads up, November, the Baseball Junkies podcast will hit their 1-year anniversary of doing this podcast for you. And between Adrian and I, we're going to try to come up with something to make that 1-year anniversary a special edition, if you will. What's up, Dom?
Hey, Dom.
So be on the lookout for that. We do have some ideas on some themed episodes. Like we are actually going to be in the works of doing something veteran related as it relates to baseball as well. So be on the lookout for that. All right. Make sure you go check out Adrian's channel. She did drop a couple of videos not too long ago. She did an awesome ASMR. Okay, so if you into yoga and sports car collecting, that cosmic video is just for you. I will be doing a video tomorrow, opening up my J Rock collection show out box. When my other box comes in, I'll do a quick short on that. And as we get news regarding the hobby, we'll make sure we'll pass it on to you. All right. So you got any last words for the crowd?
Yes. Thank you all very much. Appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget to hit that like. Don't forget SeatGeek coupon code if you need it. I just read. Hold on, where's it at?
Nikki's dropping a video of Alan and Ginter tomorrow.
Awesome,
I will be
Nikki.
catching that.
I was looking for Nikki, the surprise guest. I'm still working on scheduling the surprise guest. And
oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I did pull a sweet Francisco Alvarez. You guys got to watch my videos.
I'm going to give y'all a hint on the surprise guest. He talks baseball. That's the only thing I'm giving you.
Bum, bum, bum. I pulled a J-Rod out. Oh. Did you, Corey? I need to see that. Post it in the Discord, Corey. Did you post it in the Discord?
Corey?
I know, you just pulled at Mr. Fuego's heartstrings.
Yep, my butthole just puckered. But yep, so we're gonna go ahead and call it quits right now because one of us got to go refill up on some tea. The other one's just gonna hang out. So we'll catch you guys on YouTube land throughout the week, and we'll see you again next week. Have a good one, everybody.
Have a good night, guys. Thank you.